Welcome back to Haircuts, everyone. As you can see, I'm with the 2012 Ram again. What we're working on today is the driver's side seat. On these trucks, a lot of times you'll see is on the driver's side, just where you get in, right by the door, there'll always be a tear on that seat cushion. The leather ones, they wear out. The cloth ones will have tears in them, and we've seen this on a lot of trucks of these generations, actually in trucks in general, just from people getting in, because you got to get up into it, and that rubbing stretches the material and then it ends up in a tear. There's quite a few videos on YouTube that show you how to replace that seat cushion, or that like the actual foam or the cover with like a new one. The thing is, the cloth one is like 250 bucks just as is, and if it's just like a work truck, you don't need to be spending $250 to replace the cushion when there's a tear. So what we're doing today is we're actually going to repair the seat. And sorry, we're not going to repair it, someone else is going to repair it. We're going to put it back in. So what we're going to do is we're going to take you over and let you take a look at what that seat cushion and looks like now. Here we are looking at that bottom seat pan, seat cushion or covers, whatever you want to call it, but it's the part you sit on the driver's side. As you can see, there's no rip in this one. That's because it's already been repaired. Picked it up in the video that we had recorded of this with the seat ripped is one of the ones that got lost. But right here along this seam, this is where the tear will occur. On this one, the tear was sort of like from here to about there. And what we did is we pulled this seat off, and we took the seat cushion out, pulled off the cover, and then we took it into just like the local stitching place. So it's called Stitch It. It's just in the mall. They charge 40 bucks to put another seam in. So what she did is she pulled the material over and she stitched along here all the way over to the end, and then from there all the way over to this end, so just to make it nice and strong again. And what it did is it kept the fabric from being exposed. It doesn't look so unsightly anymore, and it'll prevent more damage from happening. Now of course, if you want this to look like a show quality, or if you want it back to original, you would replace the cover, but that's $250. And for our purposes, this is a truck that we use just for getting parts, use it around the house for work that needs to be done. It's not that important to spend $250 on a seat cover for us, and we just wanted this to be fixed and prevent any more damage from happening. So this is a nice quick way of getting it done. So there's a few little tips that we have for you guys here, and we're just going to show you on how we took this cover off and how it's going to go back in. Okay, so I'm just going to set this camera up and we'll take another look. As you're looking at this, it looks like it's fairly simple to take off. When it's attached to the bottom of the seat pan, you'll see once you take the seat off, there are some videos where people take these off, they're struggling and trying to get this off without removing the seat. Take the extra 2 minutes that it takes to unbolt the 4 bolts from the seat. It, like with your impact on it, literally it takes a minute. It took like 2 minutes to pull the whole seat out, and it makes it so much easier. But once you got the seat out, you're gonna turn it upside down, and you'll see that there's this clip. These are all just like clips. They clip onto like metal pieces underneath the seat rail. So you got the front, the back, side, and that side. And once you've undone those, you can start pulling back on the seat cover, and it'll stop when you get to about here. And the reason for that is here, I'm just going to show you. There's these plastic stems here. So this one here, and this one here. And what those do is they go into this channel here, and this channel here. You can see here there's like a little few spots, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, same on the other side, and there's 1, 2, and 3 here. That looks like it's got like a similar sort of plastic straw material that's embedded in the foam. And what those are for is they give you actually the shape of your seat. So if you remember from when you would have had your seat in originally, this part here, it's really like it's tucked in, and same with this part, it's really tucked in into the foam, and it helps the seat retain the lines that it's supposed to have, and it helps hold its shape. So when you start taking this off and you start pulling on it, it's basically going to stop about here. And the reason for that is you see like these 3 holes here, there's hog rings. So hog ring is like it's like a metal staple, and they're put in with a specialty plier where this puts in, and then you click on it, and then it basically takes that spring that staple that looks like this and closes it in to make it look like this. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab your tin snips. You're going to snip all of those off. Once you snip them all, you pull it off, And once you've done your repair, you can either sew it yourself if you have a sewing machine, or if you can go get it sewed from someone else like I did. And when you go to reinstall, you can either do it with hog clips. That's one way of doing it. That's how the factory does it. Or you can just grab zap straps. They perform the same function and they'll work just the same. All you're trying to do is you're just trying to secure all of these pieces back into where they came from. So in our case, we're going to use zap straps, and how you will do that is you need to basically feed the zap strap in through the bottom. So if you can see there, that red section, and you're going to want to feed the zap strap through there, and so it comes back up so that we can put it around the rest of the seat. Maybe the hog rings would have been faster, but the zap straps are cheap and plentiful. We have them on hand, and that's what we're going to go with since I don't want to make another run to the store. All right, okay. So there you go. You see I've gotten that there. We put our, grab our seat cushion, and then we've lined that up with the hole that we have here. You can see we got that hole. I'm gonna pull this through here. And then you'll just pull your zap strap to tighten. So what I would suggest you do, and what I'm going to do, is I'm just going to put them in all loosely, so that way it's nice and easy to get all of the zap straps in, get them through all the holes, and once we know that the seat is where it needs to be, we'll pull them all snug and tight, and then we can go ahead and reinstall into the seat. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to quickly go ahead, put all the zap straps in, tighten this thing back up, and then I'll join you again when we go to reinstall it back onto the seat. We've got the seat right here waiting for the cushion to go back on, and it's just how it goes is it just goes right on top, right in there, and then we're going to clip on the sides. Okay, so I'm going to slide this back there, and I'm not sure if you picked up on it on the video, but when I did the when I was putting the cushion in, I zap strapped these ones first. It just makes it easier. So my suggestion would be to tighten these three fully first, and then you can do the sides. It's easier that way, as opposed to if you did this, it'd be much more difficult to try to reach into those center ones. Similarly, for when you're removing this, when you're cutting those hog rings, do the outsides and then cut the three in the middle last. That's how I did it. It worked really easy. So right here, there's one screw. It's right here. Okay, so there's one there, and there's one right in the back right here. And these are to hold the plastic trim on. There we have it. The seat is now repaired. There's no unsightly tear in it anymore, and we don't have to worry about damaging the foam any further. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and throw this back in the truck. Won't bore you with that, but you need a 15 mil socket for the front, and I believe an 18 mil for the back. Just plug in your couple plugs that you have in the bottom. The plugs go right here. So a reminder when you're going to be taking this out, that plug there, and I think if you have the heated seats, your plug is right there. So it's just they're just reaching from the front. So move the seat all the way back, unclip them, and then actually what you should do is you should unbolt it first, raise it, and then unclip them, because to make it easier to get it out, you want to make sure that the seat is centered in the seat tracks. If you have your seat all the way back or all the way forward, it makes it much more difficult to pull it out of the truck. So just make sure that the seat rails are centered with the center of your seat pan, That way you can just pick up the whole thing and just take it out very quickly. So that's your last tip. And thanks for tuning in. Hope this was helpful, and it will help save you some money to make a quick, inexpensive repair to your ripped seats. And so that's all for today. We'll catch y'all later.